one of those strange TV shows that are very artsy, but you didn't know what you were getting into, and you end up liking it. I actually liked it, particularly season 2. I will be honest, cuisine isn't really something that I'm into, but I feel as though the cooking theme around the bear is just the skin of the show, and the characters are what's really important. My favorite characters are Sydney and Carmy, of course, particularly because he's an ISTJ. You don't always see those types represented. Everyone in this show has toxic tendencies, but yes, I'm one of those people who ships Sid and Carmy totally. The writers knew damn well what they were doing with the table scene. And as much as people don't want this to happen, that's how they seem to have been pushing it, despite what the actors say. And there's a reason why I'm even bringing this up, that these guys have hella chemistry. Because in the 3rd season, it was just completely gone.
Rest in peace.
Like, what the hell was actually the 3rd season of The Bear? We went from everybody having a sort of natural interaction with each other to just, yep, full stop, everyone's gonna be boring. We're gonna have the first episode just a complete montage of food, and let's be honest, filler. Why was him lying down to go to sleep so freaking erotic? What the frick is wrong with you, Lip? Mostly, my gripe was just no direction. Absolutely no direction with this. This whole season was us waiting for something to happen and nothing happens. I'm there sitting, waiting. All the characters feel as though they don't know each other, and the only people that seem to have the most standout interactions are the freaking facts, which I don't mind because this guy is so cute. He's got that whole Brooklyn Italian thing going on. And it's not that I mind them because they're adorable, but with the filler just being so overwhelming this season, it's like 99% filler. Wait, actually, sorry. My bad. It's all filler. It just got to be annoying. They're worried about a review the whole time. Sydney doesn't know whether or not she should sign the partnership paper. Sugar has her baby, and honestly, the scene with her and her mom was very natural, and it felt like a real interaction, but there was way too much dead air. We didn't need all of that. It was just people staring at each other nonstop. Like, what in the actual hell was this season? I know that this isn't exactly the type of review you probably want to hear. I'm not that type of person. I'm just being really honest. It was upsetting. I felt like I wasted my time. And then, oh my freaking god, this bitch. I know that she didn't do anything necessarily wrong, but the way that they shoehorned her in last season, only to have Carmen, who recently just hooked up with her, just be so saddened. And everyone's like, you gotta talk. What is even her name again? I dislike her so much, and she is such a shoehorned in character that feels like she has no chemistry with Carmy whatsoever because she's just there. I don't even remember her name, and people say it nonstop. What is her name? Claire. There you go. Claire. Everything is, oh my god, did you talk to Claire? Oh my god, how could you do that to Claire? Claire this, Claire that. Carmy's in love with Claire. He can't function without Claire. He just met Claire after they had been childhood friends for a short while. She comes into his life, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh my god, I love her, which people with his personality type do not fall in love that freaking fast. And surely, if they have their job or their occupation and they're consumed by it, he might feel bad about saying what he said in the freezer, not having intended for her to hear it. But for the entire episode, everyone's asking, did you talk to Claire? You should call Claire. What about Claire? Let's talk to Claire for you. You messed up with Claire, man. Claire. Like, it's fucking annoying. I know that I'm probably overreacting with this, and I don't give a fuck. It's so fucking annoying. I goddamn hate this season, I swear to God. After the season was over, I was legitimately sitting there like, what is this? Okay? Did this not go to the editing room so people could make cuts and tell the showrunners or whomever what should stay out and what should be left in post-production? Because it's to be continued. And they did actually lead it somewhere at the very end. We're like, oh my god, what did the review say? What's gonna happen? Is Sydney gonna sign the paper? It feels like this is one half, the first half of what should have been this season, but I can't even say that because there was no substance. There was absolutely no direction. It was just people going around. You know what it felt like? You know when you play Sims and your character's just going around, there's no main story. It's just your Sims doing simmy things and you're making up stories in your head and you're just peeking in through the window at people's lives, but nothing's actually really happening. That's what this entire season was. 10 episodes. And it went absolutely nowhere. The chemistry and the camaraderie that these two had, whether it leads to something romantic or not, wiped. It's as if the writer was just like, oh my God, they're getting wise. Let's just cut it down completely. But they didn't just cut it down with a potential romance. They also cut down their friendship, like completely gone. I get it that dude is obsessed with Claire, but Lord have mercy, it was just, wow. It was such a jarring thing based on what we got in the previous 2 seasons. Like, what is wrong with these people? Not to say that these actors didn't do a good job, they did an amazing job, but you know what this season also felt like? It felt like extremely pretentious, like it was trying so hard to be artsy that it forgot to actually tell a story. I find it ironic that the entire time Carmi and the others are worried about the review that they're gonna get about the beef restaurant, but this season itself, I gather, at least from my opinion, deserves the lowest rating possible. And I know this is coming from me, so it sounds extremely haunting me even uttering this, but you know what? At least the Acolyte was entertaining.
Oh no, you did. Oh no, you did.
The Acolyte was next level horrible. To this date, I've never seen a worse show than this. But you know...
But you know what? But you...
Say what you want, at least that train wreck was entertaining. It's like you were witnessing an anomaly in history of the world's worst show, and you're just marveled and completely in awe by the sheer stupidity of the writing, and just how horrible it was. It makes you wonder what's going on in the mind of someone who did this, who put money into this, spent a lot of it, and produced this, and thought that this is what constituted as a show. Now, this doesn't speak for the entirety of The Bear, but good lord, it definitely speaks for the entirety of season 3, cause damn. So like I said, first episode, cooking montage, goes on for the entire episode. Claire, cooking montage, shots of random artsy thing. Look, art, cinematic pieces. Oh my God, macro shots. See what we can do with the camera? Isn't this beautiful? Look, I went to film school. Now you can tell. Grade me. This is giving demo reel or portfolio project. Carmi is hurting for the entire season over messing up with, what's her freaking name? Carmen. No, Claire. Yes, the one that nobody actually likes and cares about. Even the people who don't ship Sydney and Carmi cannot stand Claire either. Narratively, she's useless. Sydney is still good in this one, and for the whole season, she doesn't know whether or not she's going to sign the paper. Also, Carmi is spiraling because he's not communicating with everyone, because he's hurting because of fucking Claire. Also, the facts. They are the most centric people in this entire thing, and also they think people are haunting them, but they're living. It's kind of like constantly playing a prank on someone, not knowing if they're around the corner about to scare you because you didn't give them something that they want. It's a whole thing. Again, no real substance there. Tina, we get a lit about her. We get people stressed out because if you didn't know, the bear, as far as the vibe goes, is some story, but 100% stress. Fucking Claire. This guy lost his mom. She's gonna have a baby. She's worried about the baby inheriting all the negative traits. This guy is invited to his ex's wedding with this dude over here, and the girl expects him to come knowing that he's still hurting over him being with his ex-wife or whomever. And it's annoying because his ex-wife is saying, I don't care if you're hurt, you should still come. She literally says those words. I mean, not those exact words verbatim, but she basically tells him, even if it does make you uncomfortable, I still want you to come. I still expect you to be there. I bet you if he had a girlfriend and he was doing fine and wasn't alone, she wouldn't be as freaking spiffy. She'd be freaking tight. This guy's trying to poach her from the bear, and she doesn't know whether or not she's gonna go with him or not. And that's like the entire thing for the season. But there's no developments. She's just like, should I tell him? Should I not tell tell him, I'm gonna have to tell him, but I'm not gonna tell him. This girl, who was a mentor for Carmi, is closing her restaurant because she wants to live her life now. She's broken the glass ceiling and it did everything she's supposed to do, and so he's worried it's gonna happen to his restaurant, yada yada. Meanwhile, Uncle over here is like, sign the paper, Sydney. Sydney doesn't know she's gonna sign it. He wants the bear to do well because he wants to recoup his money. He's wasting too much money on this damn restaurant. Oh yeah, and they seem to kind of retcon Tina's backstory. She couldn't find a job, and it tells the backstory of how she ended up working with Mikey. And I gotta say, episode 6 of season 3, when we actually see Shane, I know I'm calling him Shane, his name's Mikey in this, but he'll always be Shane to me because it's the first thing I know him from. The Walking Dead is Shane. And he's badass in this one too. He is the only normal character out of the entirety of this show. And this little scene with he and Tina, or Tina and him, is the best scene out of all of it. Not even the hospital scene. It just felt real because we never get to see Mikey, and so seeing him interact with someone in a normal setting where there's not yelling going on was actually refreshing to see. And it makes you see Mikey's character and how sweet he was and how much of a pull he was to the people around him, which makes it even more painful considering now that they lost him the way they did. And after that, she gets a job, and that was the end of episode 6. And also the end of anything really good for this season. Carmi's in AA, stress with the restaurant, the facts, Sydney being unsure and not knowing whether or not she wants to sign the paper because she feels like her partner over here is spiraling out because he's still hung up on fucking Claire.
Daddy, chill.
Sugar's having a baby, her mom is being insufferable. Then she loves her mom, but her mom is being experienced and has this whole entire episode is this. It was sweet, don't know why it needed an entire episode though. 40 fucking minutes long, I'm sorry. Episode 9, nothing is happening. Carmi and Sydney are still worlds apart. Fucking Claire. Oh my fucking god. Carmi's still hung up on Claire again. This is where this freaking ex-wife bitch is like, even if it makes you uncomfortable, I still want you to come to my wedding where you're gonna imagine me sucking off another guy and that guy ain't gonna be you no more. We're gonna live happily ever after with our daughter. Oh my god, I'm such a fucking twat.
I don't want to be dramatic about it, but, you know, I don't have a lot of family left. You're kind of like it for me. I don't want to make it weird, but unless it's really awful and hard or fucking terrible for you, I would like you to come in. I'm gonna be honest with you, even if it is awful and fucking terrible for you, I would still like you to come.
The look in her eyes.
Psychopath.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? What a fucking bitch. I know I'm being so vitriolic right now, but I'm just pissed off about this season, and I'm pissed off about people like her. How selfish can you be? It's breaking your heart that I've moved on and you haven't, and I'm gonna have a wedding with my happily ever after for this guy that's not you, but you still need to come because you're like the only family I have, and fuck your feelings. Like, imagine if the tables were reversed and she was the one who couldn't stand seeing him move on with someone else, and he's like, oh, you're like the only family I have, friend. Even if it's terrible for you, I don't really care. I still want you to come to my wedding with this new bitch that I've got. The fuck? Nothing is happening for the rest of the episode. Just artsy shots and commercials for freaking Lip from Shameless, trying to look as hot as possible, but ultimately not doing anything. Then in episode 10, we got a bunch of people talking about cooking and what it means to them. I feel like I'm watching a goddamn documentary. Then Lip tells this guy from Community that you were awful to me, and the guy gives him like the best responses ever, and that was mildly entertaining. Then for the rest of the time, nothing really happens. Everyone just celebrates having cooked, and oh my god, we're chefs. See, we're chefs. Oh my god, yes, chefs. That's our entire identity. The one good thing from this was I was at least hoping this guy would hook up with Sydney. I know it's weird, like, oh my god, why are you guys like so obsessed with romantic plots? Because you tease them in a show that is about romantic plots. I mean, you shoehorned one in there with Claire, and then you're asking us not to expect that there be romantic plots. I mean, seriously. Anyway, they all have a party at Claire's new apartment, but she's hyperventilating because I guess she's scared or upset that she's gonna have to betray Carmi, and she feels bad because she looks up to him and she cares about him and all the people at the restaurant. And she doesn't know what to do, but if they're not going in any direction, just like this season didn't, I can understand why she would feel that way. While Carmi is walking around, and I guess the review was posted, but we don't know what the review says about the restaurant, and that was the entire theme. And it's like this entire 10 episode hold on. Let's just average it out and say that the episodes are about 35 minutes each, right? Almost 6 hours long, and nothing of any substance was had. I mean, freaking A. The entirety of what happened in this show could have been cut down to one episode, which would have been 35 minutes. And I say it's almost 6 hours, like it's like 5.8 hours, but the episodes have different times, and the last episode was 43 minutes about. And I had to look on Reddit to see if I was the only one, to see if I was just crazy, but no, other people felt that way too. It is a complete disconnect from season 1 and season 2. Someone said I came here to see if others felt the same way that I do about the season 3. Not only was I underwhelmed, I also found myself actually getting angry when Fack and others would do their one-word machine gun style interactions. It just wasn't funny and put me on edge. It was the same feeling that I got from the endless yelling matches in every episode. It's like they rushed this season and had no storyline, so they had to fill the scenes with immaturity and fart jokes. Yeah, exactly. Someone said it was incredibly awkward. It was like watching a play written by 5th graders with the John Cena scene. Yeah, that was unexpected and weird as well. Someone else said, this is exactly how I felt. Nothing happened this season besides Natalie giving birth. Another way I feel is that they're really trying to force down your throat that they all grew up together and everyone knows each other for years, but it feels forced and fake. Hate that they gotta yell at each other. It's one of the reasons I almost stopped watching season 1, but I kept at it because of Lip from Shameless. That's the only reason we're all watching, let's be honest. And the only reason I'm watching at this point is because the only thing I'm invested in, I was invested with him at first, but now I'm staying because I do want to see what happens with Sydney and him, to be completely freaking honest. I like how people are all like, no, he and Sydney should just be friends. But had it been Claire or somebody that didn't look like Sydney, would they be singing the same tune? I don't think so. Very weird how that works. But anyway, they continue by saying the rest of season 1 and 2 were great, but season 3 was at best. Someone replies, the show even cheated us of the actual birth on that episode. Whole show of close-ups on Jamie Lee as mom. Oh, I guess the actress. Yeah, the actress. And Natalie laboring, and then ending with those two idiot characters congratulating the new grandmother. What a letdown. Exactly. They didn't even show the baby. I didn't even think about that. The entire thing. We don't even get to see Sugar's face. We don't get to see the joy of her. I mean, they were leading up to all of that just to give us absolutely nothing. It's like they hired some people to write off of Fiverr and used them to write this season while they all went on vacation, the actual writers. So it's just not me. I'm glad to know that other people felt the same way, because I was thinking to myself, am I crazy? Me and my husband sat there and watched the whole thing. We binged it over a few days and we both liked the show, but goodness gracious, this season, if I had to grade the first like 2 seasons, the first one would be maybe like a B+, and the second one for me was an A-. This one's a fucking F. I'm sorry. It's just just the whole lead up. Okay, if you're talking about the cinematics, maybe I'll give you a point. Right, okay, but you get a D-. What? It was abysmal. Terrible. I can't even say the writing was bad. What writing? There was none. It was just, let's play a interaction simulator where people aren't actually interacting. They're just like acting like they're interacting. We gave them no script and just said, do what you will, which is probably how most of the show's written, but at least the other seasons had substance. And then this is what we got. We went from this and Marcus and actual character development and real interactions to just mostly fact and filler. Now, what's interesting is the first season of The Bear, the user score was actually pretty low. I mean, it's above average, sort of, but I wasn't expecting it to be this. But I could understand, with everyone screaming at each other and people not knowing what the hell kind of show this is, it would take them a while to get into it. Season 2 is where things really picked up, and you can see that reflected in the reviews as well. But season 3 fell all the way off with 6.6, and we only have 84 users. To be fair, season 2 had 89 users on this, and this is Metacritic. This is the less known rating website, but it's because a lot of people don't even know about it. Rotten Tomatoes, I really don't use them anymore for honest reviews or ratings, because the bigger corporations such as Disney had been seen dishonestly altering people's reviews or censoring them to promote the positive ones that are all copy pasted, because they claim that if somebody negatively critiques their movie, it's review bombing. But anyway, that's why I mostly use Metacritic. But for those who are used to Rotten Tomatoes, it's a less popular work or franchise, so I don't think it's been touched. But you can see season 1, we got a strong audience score at 92%, right? Season Season 2, pretty much the same. We got a little bit more with the audience score. Back here, we have even more ratings for Season 1, but for Season 2, we have 1,000 plus, but we got a 93% score for the users. You ready for Season 3 on this one? It's even lower on average than the Metacritic one for Season 3. Maybe because more people are on the site rating it. And the critics dropped a little bit, but of course they're gonna like it because it looks artsy and what's not. They don't need substance. The critics aren't used to substance and haven't cared about it for the longest while now. People are saying reviews like, for a show where every second counts as a main theme, this season drags. The pacing in the season is so off. Every scene, no, every line is delivered is seconds too long. The first 2 seasons were good. What changed? Another person says, disappointing season. I don't understand why Hollywood doesn't seem to understand the simple concept that captivating and entertaining storyline is a public's priority. Self-indulgent and pretentious camera work. Oh my God, thank you. Even as a film student, I recognize that. I know exactly what it is. Because you know why? I've done that shit before. I've done that with photography and with filming, where I'll just go around taking all these macro shots and doing the bokeh effect and the pan and tilt. I'm like, look at me. Oh my God. Then I put it in a little reel and then show my teacher like, oh my God, aren't they so pretty? But it's pretentious. It's like, I'm a film student. Like, I'm studying videography. I have an associate's degree. Like, that's what it's giving, because we've all been there. As art students, we know what it feels like when we're being pretentious. We're like, look at what we're doing. Look at how pretty this is when it has no substance whatsoever. You just think someone's going to look at your work and think it has substance because it's so pretty. That's not how this works. Not with TV shows. Time is important and we don't have a lot of it. And when you're wasting people's time is also money. That's time they can't get back. People are going to get upset. So the person says self-indulgent and pretentious camera work and drawn out boring dialogues took center stage. First episode equal insufferable. It really was. Marcus and his mother's story arc yawn. Carmi threatening to fix things with Claire. Predictable. Teasing, and not a climaxing teasing, but just a run your nose and dog poop kind of teasing. Sugar and her mother spending a whole episode in close-up shots dialoguing about water being wet almost jumped out of a window. My favorite part were the Fact brothers, though how odd they are felt a little bit forced. Like someone who's trying to be intentionally cute and not naturally cute. How many effing references to haunting are we going to get? Oh my God, see? Tina's episode was okay. Richie's struggle with Frank was pretty brutal in a good way. Another review, season 1 and 2 rock. We love Jeremy and the star cast is phenomenal. Season 3 was boring as hell. One whole episode was a hospital bed scene. Like, have been cut to 5 minutes. Oh, it could have been cut to 5 minutes, she means. I want the show to succeed, so I don't want to put the show down just being a critic. No, girl, you're just being honest. If we want shows to succeed, then you have to be honest about what they are and what they aren't. If the show doesn't do well, people don't get challenged. If you just say their show's nice when it's not. Another person said, I like the cinematography and the show's general format was outstanding, plus there were some standout performances. However, the plot stuttered and consistently failed to grab me, and the scripting constantly failed to move along at an engaging pace without giving anything away. The series ended with an unanswered cliffhanger that in my opinion, should have been dealt with during the 8 episodes rather than some of the superfluous episodes that took far too much time to tell insignificant parts of the Bears story. Instead, we're left with a rather clumsy and weak hook that hopes to engage us and for us to buy us into next season. My gut is telling me that this is turning into one of those series that runs a series or too many, and that's gonna end up spoiling a great beginning / legacy. So as you can see, people are upset. There's some people that like it. I don't even know yeah, you see, reviews like this, you see how the other ones felt real? Reviews like this, 5 out of 5. Just like a good restaurant changes the menu every while and then, the Bear newest season feels fresh and gorgeous. Okay, maybe that's a review from a real person, but I've seen bots leave reviews like this. 10 out of 10! Would recommend again. That's what it's giving. Now see, this feels more like a real person. They didn't rate it 5 out of 5, they rated it fairly highly. While it still had some excellent episodes, the season felt a bit slow and self-indulgent at times. There are many artistic decisions that worked, but very much slowed the pace. There went all the cameos and the length of time focused on that as opposed to the story and the characters was boring at times, but still a quality show. Okay, this person liked episode 1, might be among the greatest ever in television history. Damn, that's a freaking stretch if I ever heard one. But okay, I mean, I guess you like, I don't know what, there was no direction with that. I mean, you could just go watch music videos if you want that type of thing. So this person is saying, I don't understand why people are saying it's bad. Maybe listen to what people are saying. The reviews are all above you. All you have to do is is freaking read. You want people to read your review, so do them a favor and read their review instead of just putting, I don't know what people are saying, or I don't understand why they're calling the season bad. It's just weird that they're calling it bad. There's specific reasons why they're claiming it is. It's nice that you feel that it's good, but in our opinion, it wasn't just a different way to represent the story. It was just, there was no story to represent. It was directionless. What in the chat GPT is this review? The Bear Season 3 is a masterclass in storytelling, blending intense drama and humor in a way that captivates from start to finish. The characters are more compelling than ever, with each episode feeling like a roller coaster of emotions. This season brilliantly explores themes of family and dude, that was written on chat GPT. That was written on chat GPT, my guy. I understand if you want to fix your grammar in chat GPT, that's different, but you can tell when a freaking chatbot wrote this. So this person liked it and said that season 3 seemed to be a tension builder. I don't understand the criticism pertaining to lack of movement. The show kept the always in chaos feel that is presumably meant to reflect that of working in a kitchen. Yeah, they did that for some of the episodes, but the plot itself it came to a halt. It's good that you enjoyed it. So these are the reviews. You can look at them on Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic. You get some, you win some, you lose some. You'll have bad seasons, you'll have good seasons. I was disappointed with season 3. Love season 2. I actually want to go back and watch season 2 because of how bad season 3 was. So now that I've become successfully one of the cast members of the show, it's always yelling, and I've ranted all of what I possibly had to say about this, maybe. That is my honest opinion. Does it mean the show as a whole is bad? No. I hope they come back with the second half of this, whatever this is, and the writers are back from vacation or they're off whatever drug they're sniffing at the moment, so we can get back to a regular schedule programming, because hot damn. Otherwise, we still got 2 good seasons that predate this one, so I can't in fairness say the entire show is bad. Season 3 was horrible. There were some good parts about it, but they were so few and far between and boring that it was easy to miss them, or that they didn't really make a very big difference enough to dent how negatively I view the season. That's me being honest.